Last night there was an air of expectation as a sudden cabinet meeting at the Union Buildings took place. The meeting happened, but the reshuffle did not as expected. There will be a post-cabinet briefing later today. But the big question that is still on everyone's mind is what happens to the Finance Minister, Pravin Gordhan. But to make sense of all these political developments, we joined from our Parliament studio by political analyst, Professor Susan Booysen. Prof, it's a very, very good morning to you and thank you so much for coming through.
Good morning, Palisa.
Prof, it's been quite a week, obviously, starting with Monday with the recall of Finance Minister from his trip in London, the President not making it to Kathrada's funeral yesterday, the reports, of course, of a possible cabinet reshuffle. How can you just sum up the political events this week?
Well, it is a nation on tenterhooks, waiting for a president who is lacking credibility at this stage, has been for some time, to make his moves known. And that is amidst a context where the president has got the official power, but power is also slightly slipping from his hands, if not significantly slipping. And these are seen as moves for him to pull control closer to his chest again. And we know that a thorn in his flesh has been the finance minister and the National Treasury, the kind of control they have over many policy decisions. And so it is a lot of expectation. It is massive amount of uncertainty that is all over the country. And amidst all of this, there is a sense of incredulity that the president has got so much power, and yet he can do so much damage in the process of exercising that.
All right, yeah, obviously it is his prerogative to fire and hire the ministers. But talk to us about your take on the reports coming out that 3 of the 6 top ANC bras are actually against the president and the finance minister.
That is an incredibly important move, and to make that known and that it is becoming known that there's that kind of division. In fact, every structure, every public structure in which the ANC is significantly deployed, every structure of the ANC is highly divided at this stage. And the big question is whether the president will go ahead and against these odds, against the possibility of dividing the ANC, probably not to the point of another party splitting off, but with serious implosion, those divisions are moving internally in the ANC, and there is a sense of implosion that is pending there, and the president could very well run that risk and of further destabilizing not just so many state institutions, but really doing damage to the ANC as well. And this is an incredible sense of centralization of power in the hands of the president that we have seen, at least on that formal level. And whether the president will then take that step and make those moves, that is the big question. But we have seen the president acting very brazenly in recent weeks. He wants more power of the Treasury. He wants more power in terms of being spokesperson for the ANC. He has serious control over a few of the cabinet members who are in very strategic positions. So given that we have seen these moves in the past, in very recent past, around the president, all indications are that he is going to make this move, and probably not just around the finance ministry, but I know from several conversations, interviews that I've had in recent days, several of the cabinet members are very, very nervous about losing their positions as well.
The meeting wrapped up, Prof, of course, with no clarity on what is likely to happen in terms of that possible cabinet reshuffling. But do you believe that he's likely to go ahead with the move? I mean, if we take into considerations the latest events, like I mentioned, on what happened on the view of the ANC's, the 3 of the ANC's top 6.
Yes, it is very important that at that very high level we see that dissent, and we can only imagine that moves that are currently happening there, also given a much broader societal and ANC structural mobilization around that. It is crucial that the top 6 are divided. And we can only imagine the kind of pressure on the president. There could be pressures, and that could be going out to the National Executive Committee of the ANC to bring forward elections. And that could probably be the deep deterrent for President Zuma. If matters are rushed, then he could be ceding more power than what he gains in the longer term. And so it is really a cat and mouse, and a very strategic one that we see unfolding now. And there's almost not a state institution, including the state intelligence agencies. We hear from several reports that the president is using reports from state security agencies, not just to try to keep the top 6 in line, but also that he has been using that reportedly in some briefings of the ANC structures and of the top 6 to justify why Minister Gordhan should go. For example, they're using the argument that the minister is undermining him, undermining his authority. And so it is this big cat and mouse game. Also ideologically and in terms of narratives and rhetoric, who has got the autonomy? What is the sovereignty? Who has got the sovereign power in the state?
All right, but Prof, do you think that the cabinet will make true on the reported threats that there might be mass resignation should the president go ahead with the axing of finance minister? It seems as if Prof has lost her sound there. That's Professor Susan Booysen, a political analyst, talking to us about the latest political developments here in South Africa. But we are going to be fixing her microphone, and we can quickly, conclude our chat. But talk to us at Morning Live SABC if you have views on this matter. Let's quickly take a break here on the show. When we come back, we'll be picking up where we left on the conversation with Professor Susan Booysen.